Wages World here. It is February 29th, going into the 1st of March 2020. It was leap year, leap day yesterday. But I just want to give you guys an update on what's going on. And I do apologize for the lack of updates here lately, guys. I've been sick for over a month. Okay, I just don't tell everybody that. And I know you guys have heard that I was sick and all that, and I get a lot of great comments, just uplifting me. I really appreciate it. But at the same time, I've been sleeping pretty much for 2 days, guys, trying to recover. And just to be honest with you guys, it's not really helping. I'm dragging, just to let you know. It's hard for me to even sit here and do this video. But what I'm telling you guys here is, I don't want to come out every video and say that, because there's channels that do, and it's just putting negativity out there constantly. So that's why I don't. But I do appreciate your guys' concern, but don't be worried about me. That's my whole point here. Okay? But I'm gonna show you the Johns Hopkins website here. These are official numbers, guys. I think they're a bunch of junk. But officially, we got like 71 cases now in the United States. We had our first death, which is just horrible. I'm seeing stuff from like out of Iran. Kids falling. Mike and Cindy did over Evolutionary Energy Arts did a video. People sick and just falling out, even in Iran. And then, obviously the stuff that's going on over there. Now, I want to address this too. We get accused of fear porn quite often. This is something we've accepted in this genre of YouTube, this section of YouTube or community, whatever you want to call it. Quote unquote truther community, if that's the word you want to use. But I want to give you guys an explanation on what is fear porn and what's not, in my opinion. Okay. Now, I did a video about 11 days ago, and even before. You guys can go back and look at that video. It's the G Level 1 storm. That'll be in the title. Crack in the magnetosphere, that title. If you go click on that, you'll be able to hear exactly what I'm getting ready to tell you. I said in that video, just walk through your house, pick up items, and you're going to see that a lot of it's going to be made from China. Now, my point there was that their economy is going to be affected, but it's like throwing a rock in a pond. It's going to ripple out, right? Because we're so globally dependent on one another. Now, I say all that, and I was also trying to say, hey, don't panic. We don't know what's going to happen exactly. We just do what we can, right? And I didn't inject any kind of fear there at all. But I did say it 11 days ago, and even 2 weeks before that, I was saying the same thing. So now we've had the single most day drop in the Dow Jones ever. That happened like 3 days ago. Plus, we've had a couple other really bad days. Now, does that mean we still need to freak out? No. Because also, on the other side of that, we have to understand that we were in an 11-year bull market. In other words, we were hot and heavy for 11 years in our economy, and that just can't last forever. So when stuff like this does happen, don't freak out. I'm not saying don't prepare, because I most certainly, that's why I was telling you guys this a month ago. I don't even cover this stuff typically on my channel. All right? So the difference of, we get accused of fear porn is this, but me just giving you information. And I don't tell you that video I said, it's there, I can show it to you. But I don't say all that to say, hey, I told you so. I say all that to give you guys the explanation of what fear porn is and what isn't. What's fear porn to me is somebody that will, and I've talked about this before, breaking news in front of their thumbnails. Every one of them. Okay? Breaking news, urgent, gotta watch, all this kind of stuff, right? So, one of two things is going on there, guys. Either they're liars or they're arrogant. My guess is they're both. Let me explain. The only reason to put breaking news in front of a video, in my opinion, is if there's breaking news inside that video, right? So if there's no breaking news inside there, that makes that a complete, utter lie. Not even a half-truth. That's a lie. So take in consideration that to begin with, okay? That makes them liars. The second part of that is the arrogant part. If they actually believe that every one of their videos has breaking news in it, that makes them completely arrogant, if not ignorant. Okay? You just shouldn't do that. It's irresponsible. Because now that word is being used in every thumbnail, that phrase, when people see it, they're desensitized to it. So when some other channel uses it, they think, oh, it's just a bunch of stupid clickbait. right? Now we have a real situation going on in the world, and we can't even say that because of channels like that. Okay? So if it says breaking news on the channel, you click on it, and what do you hear? A music video? Really? And I know I'm a little upset about this, but it really bothers me that somebody wants to put themselves out there as like that. That's what pure porn is. The only reason to do that is to get clicks and then views and ultimately more money. And what the biggest problem is, these people already have 300,000 to 400,000 subs, if not more. They're already getting the exposure. They're going to grow regardless. So why do it? I'm talking specifically to the creators that are doing this. Look inside yourself. You put yourself out there as an honest person, but yet you lie every time you do that. It's not just clickbait, because now it affects everybody. And I don't call out channels. That's not what I'm doing here, because it's multiple. But you guys are smart. You guys can figure it out. If you click on a video, it says breaking news, and you get in there, it's in a music video. That's just an outright lie. No questions about it. Complete, utter lie. And that's why I showed you, that's why I wanted to tell you about the video I did a few back saying this. That was an effort, and I didn't even put urgent in that video, did I? That was just an effort to kind of get you guys knowing what's going on. Just sharing the information to reduce the fear. Because if you know something might happen, when it does happen, you don't get shocked as bad. Hence, you don't get fearful as bad. You might be concerned, but that concern can lead to you preparing a little bit and making it better for you and your family. That's the point of what I try to do here. You're not going to see any kind of that breaking news crap on my thumbnails. It just doesn't happen. Unless there's true breaking news. And I don't think I've ever put that on any of my titles. So, anyway, enough of me ranting. I'm sorry. But yeah. So, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to show you some space weather and stuff, guys. There was some ejections off the sun, and one went to the right, one went to the left, and then there was one that kind of, well, there was one in the middle of those two that nobody even caught or picked up on. And I think it'll be very interesting if you guys stick around and watch it. So let me get into that, and I'll show you that. All right, guys, give you guys some space weather here. Right now, that's the solar wind speed, about at 484. And again, guys, right here, KP level, geomagnetic storm levels. Looks like we're in pretty what they would call active conditions. Okay, that's as of right now. Looks like it's had a steady stream up. Not exactly sure. I think we're expecting some solar wind there a little bit, and I think it looks like it got here. We've been having some patchy holes on the sun, which would have us get periodic bursts of solar wind. So that's probably what's pushing this KP up a little bit. I'm not sure if it'll actually get up in the storm level. I would be surprised if it did. Yeah. But we'll go down here and we'll look at the sun here real quick, which is this right here. We can go over to SDO and look at it too. But this is the most current capture. So as you can see, this is the southern coronal hole that usually stays there all the time. And you can see how it's starting to get, some of the patches are actually starting to open up more, like right there. Again, this is the equator of the sun roughly, and the Earth kind of sits about right there, just south of the equator. That's usually about the direction. But with that being right in front of us, we would expect some intensification of the solar wind, and that's probably what we'll see here in about 3 or 4 days from that one. Now, that's not to discount, sorry about that, these other holes that have already passed. Okay? We're probably going to get periodic bursts of solar wind. That's what's going to happen. Okay? I don't see how we couldn't, to be honest with you. So we may see, slight variations in the KP index. It may bounce up and down for a while. What will this do? We could look for maybe some increase in some earthquake activity. That's probably the main thing I would be concerned about mostly. It may bring some auroras down a little bit further than what they normally are. But other than that, I wouldn't see any kind of big activity from this guy, just to be honest. So, not a whole lot to say there, but I do have some stuff to show you here. Well, we'll look at this first, okay? This is the Enlil. I already put this in motion. As you can see, they're, again, these are top-down views, and these are side views. This particular graph here actually is a historic and a forecasting graph. What it does is you got 2 days. It shows you 2 days behind what happened, okay? So that's actually what did happen according to their numbers, their data. But it tries to forecast out 5 days. That's extremely difficult for them to be accurate with that. I will just say that straight up. I'm being nice there, by the way. But I don't trust this thing out much more than 2 days, just to be honest. Sometimes not even that. It's much like our local in the 8s. I'll just say it like that. It's a weather forecast, but this is space weather. And you can imagine how difficult that could be to forecast. I don't see how it could be much different. But as you can see here, guys, I didn't, I'm going to show you guys something here in a minute over on Lasco C2 and seeds and all that. We're going to discuss that here in just a second. But wanted to kind of give you an update on this. I haven't shown you guys this in a minute. And, but yeah, so you can see here, it is in the active conditions. That what a KP of 4 puts it in what they call active conditions. And it stayed there for a few hours now. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like, if you go up here and you look at the solar wind itself, it looks like it's starting to dip back down. So I would be surprised if we actually got into storm level. That's just my opinion. But have to wait and see. So, yeah, let me take you over and show you something else. Okay, guys, this is seeds. All right. I got you at the 27th. Now, Scott did a video on this, or at least a report on this. And you can see how, we had a little ejection going off to the right side. This is actually our view. Okay, the Earth is here. The satellite sits right out in front of Earth. This is on SOHO. SOHO and SDO are closer to our view than any other satellite we have out there, at least what I show you guys. So you're going to see that this is really basically our view, so it is going that direction. But Scott did some stuff on that. You guys should go check it out. Planet X News. He did some stuff on that. So, but I wanted to show you that, but check this out. We don't have any data for the 28th, 29th, and the 1st, which I wouldn't expect much from the 1st right now because it's very early in the 1st. But with that being said, I look down here, and there's no data for stereo wave for the same days. Now, Seeds has been doing this off and on. Okay, we even had 2 weeks of no data entered into this at all. It doesn't mean the data's not there. Okay, doesn't mean the data's missing. It just means we have to go look somewhere else. And I think sometimes when they do this, they don't really want us to see this view here on the left, because we see quite a bit here. Okay, we catch a lot of stuff over there. It's kind of the same view that Cactus has also. But this is a little bit more clear, a little bit more defined. The definition's better, not so much pixelized. But so I'm gonna take you over to ISWA and show you the days here, the 28th and 29th, because I found something kind of interesting. All right. Okay, guys, I got you over at ISWA. All right. This is another place where we can come and look at this data. Now, the disadvantage of looking over here is the fact that you don't get that black and white view. Okay. You just get the red color. Now, so we do see, like I said, a lot more on that black and white one typically. But you can go here. I showed you guys how to do this quite a bit. Go to ISWA, go over to the solar tab, which is right there where I just clicked. And then you can go to whatever page you want, sub tab here, and it gives you different stuff you can look at. I would encourage you guys to go over here. Oops. Yeah, didn't mean to do that. But go over here and play with that. Just get used to it. You can't mess it up. All you can do is go over and look at it and try to figure out what you're looking at. And hopefully you've learned a little bit about how I showed you guys how to navigate it. Whether you agree with what I'm, showing you, whether you agree that that's what you think it actually is, you can still go look for yourself. That's my whole point here. Go look at the stuff for yourself and make your own conclusions. That's really, that's the whole basis of my channel. I don't tell anybody, hey, this is exactly what it is, that kind of a thing. That's just not what I do. I give you guys the observation and I point you the direction. Go look for yourself. So Anyway, but I found something kind of interesting. So what we're looking at here, guys, on the right is LASCO C2. Okay, so this is our view. It's on the right. The Earth is basically here, and that's really far close. It's way the space difference is way off there, not the scale at all. I'm just giving you the direction of how we're looking. Okay, and then over on the left, the Earth is actually here. Okay, so that should give you the difference of view here. The satellite for this one is here, and it's looking at the sun. But the Earth is over here. See that? Now here, the satellite's right out in front of the Earth, giving us that view. So keep that in mind when I'm showing you guys this data. All right? So as we go here on the 27th, okay, you see that little pop here on the right? That's the one I just showed you guys. Okay? That's the one that I said Scott did a report on, and looked like he might have found some sort of an object in there. Not sure. I haven't really dug too much into that myself yet. But as you can see, there was that, right? Now we keep going, and you know, I look at these a lot, so I kind of seen something kind of hazy here. You guys kind of see that right there in the middle? If you look here, you'll see like it gets really, really hazy, like I don't know, it's like just a little disruption. See how that all changed? And then if you look right here, you'll see it kind of bow out a little bit and blow that direction. Well, it looks to blow that direction. See that? See how it starts? Watch it right here, and then it'll move all the way across. See? Now, I know it's hard to see, guys. I'm doing the best I can here to show you. All right, now that was on the 28th. The thing Scott showed you guys right here was on the 27th. That happens on the 28th, right? And then this happens on the 29th on the left. See that? So that's 3 separate ejections of some sort. Whether they're true big coronal mass ejections or whatever, don't know. It's just some sort of energy popping off the sun, right? I haven't dug into it that deep, just to be honest. But that right there seems to be pretty sizable. And it looks to me like it's going to the left, right? This is a good way for me to show you guys that it, you know, like I said, the Earth is here, but the Earth's here on this one. So if you judge just purely off of the left side, off the right view here, it looks like it's going directly to the left, right? Well, check this out. Let me get over here. Okay. Now, look what happens here. Here's that same ejection. Look, looks like it's going off the backside, doesn't it? See that? That's that same ejection. So what's happening is, guys, is the Earth's here. This looks like it's going this direction, but if you use both satellites, the ejection is actually going that way. It's still going off to the left, but it's also going off towards the back at an angle. It's shooting off that direction. And I'll show you on the CME tracker here in a minute. But what I found extremely interesting, okay, remember, guys, here's at 27th, and I showed you that little bit of haze that looked like, well, might be something, might not. Well, let's go look at the 28th on stereo A. Okay. There's the 27th. You see that small little ejection there you can see it right here. Okay. It doesn't look that intense because it's actually blowing, according to this satellite, it's blowing that direction. Okay. Because we can tell that by the other view here. All right. But anyway, here comes the 28th. Now watch. There's the start of the 28th. That's the 28th at 1100 hours. Okay, UTC. See it getting real bright there on the right? Now watch. That is an ejection, guys. Okay, now that right there is just, it picked up light or some sort of cosmic energy that, you know, maybe a cosmic ray. That's all that is if you guys ever look at the cameras on these things, all that is a reflection from inside of the camera, okay? It picked up some energy somewhere or some extreme light, and it caused it to glitch out like that. That's all that is, okay? Just so you guys know. I used to think that they might have been something different too until I dug into what the cameras actually look like. And the cameras are tube-shaped, just so you guys know. Okay, and there's whole different kinds of components in here. There's baffles that move that are kind of half circle, which kind of gives you that thing right there. There's occulters inside of them. These things have more than one occulter. A lot of moving parts, so you can imagine some of the reflections these things might put off. But anyway, before I go too deep into that, sorry about that, guys. There you go. See, that's the 28th. Now, you don't see hardly anything over here on the 28th, do you? See? It's that little haze. So, what's happening? You're asking yourself, what's going on? I was asking myself the same thing. I couldn't find any, I can go over to SDO and look, and I'm not seeing much, right? So, what's happening here? Well, let me tell you what's happening here, at least what I think is happening here. There is some sort of energy. We can see it on the 28th right here. Okay? See that? Now, we know by judging over here on the left that the backside of the sun, it would have to go this way, right? Because the satellite's here and the Earth's here. So we know it's coming that direction. We don't know if it's going at an angle or not. But how do we decide whether or not it's going at an angle? Well, let me show you. One of the ways we can do that is by looking at this one, because this is a straight on view. So if it's going at an angle, we should be able to see it going at an angle this way. Well, we don't see that. So what does that mean? Right? You know what that means? That means all of that energy was behind this occulter. In other words, it got shot directly at us. Unless I'm reading this wrong, I don't know. I could be, I guess. I could be. I'm not saying I'm always, always correct on what I'm seeing here. But this most definitely looks like we have a CME coming our way. Or at least an ejection of some sort. And if it popped off there on the 28th, we could look for it in about 3 days, maybe 4. So if I'm correct, it would be your 29th, 1st, 2nd, be the 2nd or the 3rd that would arrive here. We'll have to watch the cameras, okay? We'll have to watch the charts, our magnetosphere tools and stuff we look at and see what happens. But both of these are clearly showing, if you look close enough on the right-hand side, you can see that something did happen on the sun. It blew off. You've seen that change in color. Okay, on the 28th. But it didn't look like a whole lot, because it didn't, until you go over here and look at stereo A. And you can clearly see something shot off there. And I went over to SDO and looked at it, the main picture of the sun, the extreme ultraviolet, and those are hard to tell, hard to see sometimes. So, even though this thing looks like it might be coming right at us, it may not be that big of a deal, okay? I have to say that, because it might not. If it's not that big of a CME, if it's not putting off that much energy, we'll just deflect it off. That's just what happens. We get hit with them quite often, guys, okay? Especially the small ones. But I find it odd that seeds was down. Well, it's not giving us any data there. Not that we can't find it somewhere else, but also the fact that something else. Let me show you. Okay, guys, this is planetxnews.org. This is where a lot of the links are, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the CME tracker. All right, which is right here. All you got to do is click on the link. Okay? Here's the CME tracker. Now, this bothers me. Okay, this thing doesn't do anything or update unless there's a CME. Right? So it caught that third one I showed you guys. That just happened. Okay, remember I said it looked like it was because this is the top-down view. The Earth is here. Remember I said it looked like it should be going that direction? Well, it was. See that? Okay. But this updated, so that one that happened in the middle of the day on the 28th into the beginning of the 29th, remember what I said, it takes, at the soonest that I've ever seen a CME get here is right at just a little over 2 days, sometimes 3 days, right? So 2 days, that CME we just seen blowing off here should be about right here when this one first starts. Because it's not here yet. If it gets to here even in 2 days, it should still be on this chart, should see something. There's no way it was all the way off the chart. is what I'm trying to say. So why is it showing up there? This tool's not showing it. Siege isn't giving us any data on it. I'm just questioning on what's going on here. Because if I was looking at those graphs in two different satellites, guys, both satellites are showing something blew off our direction. And those satellites are a million miles apart. Millions of miles. One of them's sitting here and one of them's over here. Okay? So that should tell you, I mean, there's no way that something didn't happen there. But we're not seeing any data on this. And I find it odd that nobody else is talking about it. I'm not sure if anybody else even seen it or dug into it like I just did. I'm not sure. But all I can say is, guys, something happened there. And, you know, whether it turned out to be any kind of an issue at all, I don't know. But it should be here somewhere for us to see is what I'm trying to say. And it's not. So, anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there. Again, guys, sorry about the lack of content. I really am trying to get more out. I just haven't been feeling good at all. I'm just trying to give you an update on everything as I can right here. So, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.